Hi, I'm Chef Yvette with Jacksonville Cakes and More, and today we're going to be learning how to make butter cookies. We have here our 4 pounds of flour, all-purpose flour. We have here 1/3 cup of cornstarch, 1 cup of sugar, our 2 eggs, 2 sticks of butter, and we're going to be using today for our flavor Princess Cake by Loran. It's absolutely delicious. It's a mixture of vanilla, almond, lemon, and lime, and it's absolutely delicious. Okay, we're going to start with our recipe, and I just want to show you how this butter is nice and soft. It's not liquidy, it's not hard, it's nice and soft. I can put my finger right through it, and that's pretty much where you want your butter to be. You want it to be able to indent into it, at least, for this recipe, you want it to be a little more than just an indentation. You want to be able to put your finger through it, but it cannot go straight through it. So it's still a little firm, but I can cut it. It won't fall apart on me. See? Nice texture, see? So it's not falling, it's not drippy, but it's nice and soft so that we can get ready with this recipe. The next thing after I cream this butter, I'm going to start adding my sugar. My butter is pretty soft. I'm going to stop the machine and push it all down so that it can mix very nicely. Butter moving right along. I'm going to start adding my 1 cup of sugar. And you don't have to order it in slowly. I just like to, that's all. Let that mix until it's nice and beige. So I'm probably going to push it down a couple of times and keep mixing it and getting it nice and creamy. So I want this butter to be nice and creamy. Okay, my sugar and butter is still mixing very nicely. And I'm going to let that cream a little bit more before I add my eggs. Okay, to this I've added my eggs, and they've already been incorporated. I added them one at a time. I'm going to let this beat for a little bit, and then I'm going to go ahead and add my flavor. As I mentioned before, I'm using the flavor Princess Cake. It's a delicious, delicious flavor. I've got good reviews from this. You can also, on my link below, you can find where I purchased all my materials. This is my 2nd teaspoon that I'm adding, and you see how creamy it is, so it doesn't have any color. I love these measuring spoons from Pamper Chef. Just push everything off of it like that. Isn't that cool? Okay, I'm going to push everything to the bottom, and I'm going to start adding my flour and cornstarch. Okay, so now we have our 4 cups of flour and 1/3 cup of cornstarch. Now, what the cornstarch does, and we're going to bring this together and whisk it around. What the cornstarch does to the cookie is that it gives it more of a little snap, and that way that your cookies are not wobbly. When you bake them, they don't break as easy. So we're going to whisk this around, and we're going to start adding this to our butter mixture. Okay, so here's my nice butter mixture, and I'm going to push that all the way down. Now for this specific recipe, you do not have to sift your flour. So I'm going to start with a little bit of flour. Start my machine on, and I'll keep adding my flour slowly. Adding my flour this way. And that's pretty much well blended. I'm going to bring it over now to my cutting board that I use just for cookies, and spread it over there. So here's my cookie dough mix, my butter cookie dough mix, and I want you to see the texture of it, okay? Because it's not sticking to my hands, you see? It's a nice dough. But this dough is not ready to be shaped or cut out because it is too soft. And we are going to roll it in saran wrap, flatten it out, and put it in the fridge for a couple of hours to get it ready for using with cookie cutters. Okay, so this is my bundle of cookie dough. And now what I'm going to do is divide this in half, and then I'm going to go ahead and wrap it in 2 portions. All right, so this is my first half of the cookie dough. I've cut out a nice big piece of saran wrap. Okay, and then my cookie dough is there. I'm gonna go ahead and fold over, but I'm gonna leave some space so that I can spread it out. Squish it down and start spreading. And what I want to do is bring it to the size of the cookies that I'm going to shape. So normally I do between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch. This is for my class that I'm teaching on Friday. Bring out my rolling pin from Pamper Chef. I love Pamper Chef products. And this is my small little one, the one that I use for these little small projects. So I'm spreading it out, making it the same size on the sides that it is in the middle. Feel it with your hand. Okay, it's a little big right here. Feel it with your hand. It's a little big right here. I'm probably going to roll it out some more when I'm ready to cut it out, but for right now it's going to be like this. I'm going to fold it over and I'm going to shape these corners, and then I'm going to put it in the fridge for about 3 to 4 hours. Okay, so here are my cutouts. They've come out of the freezer. I want to show you how nice and firm they are. You see, they're not flopping around. They've been in the freezer for about 20 minutes, and so they go straightly from the freezer to the oven. You don't want them to thaw out, you don't want them to get soft. Once your cookies have come out of the oven, you want to know that they're cooked, and they should be light brown on the underside. You should see a little bit of browning on the edges, not too much. And these cookies are ready to either be frozen so that you can use them in the future. You can freeze them up to 3 months. I normally put parchment paper in between them and just layer them, or they are ready to get decorated. If you're decorating with royal icing, remember that royal icing tastes better when it's dry. When it is wet, it does taste a little funny. All right, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, baking and cooking is patience and practice. Don't be afraid to experiment and have some fun in the kitchen. If you tried this recipe, be sure to share your comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Ding, ding, ding for more baking tips and tricks with Chef Yvette.